Hey guys, so we're going to do a simple tutorial on integrating the EasyBallistics plugin from the marketplace. Now there is a couple of small issues with this I'll go over at the end of the video, but I'm currently waiting on a response from the author of the plugin to let me know how to fix these. I just can't see his actual code, so it's a bit hard to work around it. So first things first, you need to make sure the EasyBallistics plugin is enabled on your project. If it is not enabled, you will need to enable it and then restart the editor. I've also got True Sky enabled. Ignore that, won't affect it at all. We need to also, just for the purpose of this, we're just going to use the bullet that's included in the demo project. So we're going to migrate this bullet tracer over to our project. You can make your own bullet quite easily using his tutorials, but we're just going to use this one. It just looks a lot nicer than the 5-second one we can whip up. Just bear with me a second, my OCD requires that I need to order this a little bit. Okay, so first thing before we get started on the blueprints, we need to go into projects, click on project settings and set up a new collision channel. So let me open up my reference one over here so I can make sure I get it right. Okay, so under project settings, click on collision. Under trace channels, you want to click new trace channel and give this a name, something like bullet, not nullet. And default response can be block. Under presets, you want to go to overlap all dynamic and ensure that bullet is set to ignore on this. Now the reason for this is otherwise the loot spawners in the multiplayer survival game template will stop the bullet. I will also mention I'm using version 1.0.0.7 of the survival game template under Unreal Engine 4.14, and this is a fresh install I just set up. Now we want to go into here and we want to make a new interface. So I'm just going to pop it in this folder. Go right click, create new blueprint interface and give it a name. I'm going to call it BP int weapon. And we want to open that up and just give it one function, which is fire EB weapon, and give that an input of type boolean and call that state. Compile, save, and we can close that. Next step, we want to open up our actual weapon. Now I'm going to use the weapons that are included in the template and just rig them up to work with EasyBallistics. You can obviously do this on any weapon you want. And you can make new ones. So you want to go in content, SGT, blueprints, actors, examples, weapons, and then machine gun is the one we're going to do. Now we need to add the interface, so click on class settings, click add, and then scroll down to find the interface you created. This one, BP int weapon. Click compile, and then right click and go event, fire, there we go, fire EB weapon. So that's the interface event we just made. We also want to add an EB barrel, and we just drag this in holding control, and then we want to drag off and do shoot. Hook this up to there and pass the state through to the trigger. Now EasyBallistics actually controls all the replication of the bullets, which is amazing because Unreal Engine's projectile replication isn't the best, and it means we don't need to worry about that side of things. We also want to click on EB barrel here and just take a look at the settings. We need to add under ammo here, add an ammo which we're going to use the bullet tracer which we migrated over, and the only other setting we want to do here is the fire rate. Now the machine gun by default is set up to fire, I think, 5 bullets per second. So we go into our data table here, go to machine gun and scroll all the way down to the weapon settings. Yep, so 5 bullets per second. Now of these 5 settings here, the only settings that we're going to need to worry about for EasyBallistics is allow automatic and automatic fire rate, because that will control the graphical side of shooting, so like muzzle flashes and that. So we're going to leave this on 5, but it means we want to set the fire rates here to 5 to ensure that they match. You can do a lot of different things with these settings here. We're not going to go into that because that's actually part of the EasyBallistics plugin. So check out the documentation the author has on that, it's really good. Once we're done that, we can click compile and save, and I think that's all we need to do in here. Yep, so we can close that one up. And then we want to jump into our bullet tracer. So click back on content, go back into our EB folder, bullet, and open up bullet tracer. Now we just need to add one thing in here, I believe. So we want to double click on this damage event, move this down and just drag off of damaged actor and do damage event under a BP-int character. So this is just passing the damage through to a character if it hits a character. And we're going to use the velocity to power this. Now if you wanted, you could pull the information from the data table and use the damage setting there, but we're just going to do it this way. That's all we need to do in that one. So we want to jump back to content, SGT, and we want to go into blueprints, components, and open up the inventory manager. Now we don't need any of these guys that are open right now, we just want fire weapon. And in here, I'm going to move this guy over, and just bear with me while I get my reference up. So I'm going to take a copy of equipped item, do does implement interface, set that to the interface we created, BP-int weapon, use a branch, click that onto there. Now if it doesn't have this interface, we just go straight to the return node. If it does, we want another reference to the equipped item and we want to do fire EB weapon. And we want to set that to false because this section we're doing right here is if we're out of ammo, we want to stop it shooting. Now copy and paste that, because over here we're going to move this guy down a bit. I'm going to add in the same thing here. So click and hold control, connect that up to false, plug that into there, give this a return node, and we want to set this to true. And one final time we want to copy those two, go over to the event graph, find this guy here, SRV stop using item, paste that into there and go like that. Now I believe that should be everything done and we should be ready to go. So let's take it, or let's have a look. Open up the map so we can actually just have an ammo and weapon right in front of us. There's already a gun here, so let's just change this apple over to ammo. Ammo MG rounds, we'll set it to 25 and we'll fire it up and see how it goes. Oh no, I know I've done one thing, I've forgotten one thing. Let's go back into blueprints, actors, examples, weapons and machine gun. We just need to position this. I'm going to move this over to around about here. Doesn't need to be perfect. Looks pretty good. Now you'll notice the red arrow is pointing backwards, so we also need to flip this 180 degrees. This will depend a lot on your weapon meshes and stuff. And I think that's it now. Let's see how we go. Pick up the ammo, pick up the weapon, drop the weapon in the hotbar, equip it, and there we go. So we've got the... Oh, we're not stopping fire. Why is that? Did we forget to clear a... I forgot to... Yeah, here we go. So under SRV, stop using item, this just needs to be set to false. And so give that another go. Always one stupid little thing you do like that. Yep, there we go. You can see you're getting the ricochets and everything. And if we fire it up with 2 players, and we take the client, not the host, there we kill them. Now the only issue I'm having, the thing I'm waiting to hear back from the developer, is at the moment is I can't get it to shoot exactly where the crosshair is. I've tried setting up rotation on the bullets as they spawn and all that sort of thing, and it just doesn't want to work. So I'm waiting to hear back, and I will post an updated tutorial once I have that information. But this is enough to get you started. So that's how you integrate EasyBallistics. EasyBallistics is actually a really cool plugin. I recommend you check it out. I believe the developer even has a playable demo. So give that a look. It's pretty cheap and has a lot of options you can use. If you have any requests for other integration tutorials, please let me know and I'll get onto them. Cheers.